There's been a trend under Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. Yeah, for all the great work, there's been a lot of stuff that Arsenal have done really well, but there is something that happens under Mikel Arteta with Arsenal that concerns me, and I'm worried it's going to rear its head again this weekend, and that is the fact that Arsenal have an ability, despite whatever great form they're in, to have one slip up, one bad moment, and it actually linger for a while. This isn't just a bad game. This isn't just a bad 90 minutes that they shake off and go again. It can take 2-3 games sometimes for Arsenal to shake off a bad moment and go again. Now, they always bounce back. That's the one thing I'll give this team. They do have an ability to go through a bad patch, respond and dig themselves back into something, whatever it is they're competing for. But sometimes that can be a little too late, and you reflect on these runs as the moments where things went wrong in the season. What exactly am I talking about? I'm going to show you here with some data. I want to take you back to the 21-22 season, where Arsenal made it 5 wins in a row in all competitions, looking really good, scoring 4s and 5s. Hit the pause button if you want to look at these results in more detail, but they followed it up with 2 defeats. Okay, a valiant defeat to Man City, but defeat to Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup as well, knocking them out. And actually, this graphic is slightly doing an injustice how bad that was. I think Arsenal ended up going winless in January with draws to Liverpool, Burnley, and getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup semi-final. So Arsenal have this ability to look like they've clicked, look like they're going on a really good run, and then suddenly things start to fall away and you're not really sure why. And when it does happen in one game, it doesn't feel like they're able to drag themselves out of it come the second. Let me give you more evidence from that same season as well. A really good run of results there, and even performances. Yes, we lost to Liverpool 2-0, but it was a valiant performance once again. We lost, but Arsenal gave it a really good go. They followed it up, having been in a really good position for the top 4, with 3 defeats after the international break. Yep, injuries played a part in all that, I take that, but to go 3 defeats, away at Palace, away at Southampton, and home to Brighton, really disappointing, and a point of the season where Arsenal should have capitalised on the position they were in. And then you can take it to last season as well. I'm showing you a 10-game, unbeaten run. That is something to be impressed by, absolutely. But when you look at the context of the situation, Arsenal went 7 wins in a row, scoring 4s and 3s, looking really comfortable, a couple clean sheets in there, only to, let's call it as it is, bottle leads to Liverpool and West Ham, and end up drawing to a team that get relegated that season, and that was catastrophic for their title hopes. So again, having gone so well, had a little bit of a shaky moment at Anfield where they can still take loads of positives, they end up going winless in the next 2 after that. There's something about Mikel Arteta's Arsenal where they just can't shake a bad result immediately. And that really worries me going to this weekend, because we just lost to Porto, which is a bit of a shock result. Not a total disaster, right? There's a second leg to play, and you can lose in Porto. Arsenal have lost 3 times in Porto in the Champions League and always got the job done at home. But the question is, can Arsenal bounce back immediately in the Premier League? And it's not just a previous season's thing. We've seen it this season. 5 wins in 8 back in December. Saw 1 defeat against Villa, which was just the 1 defeat in those 8. Yeah, it wasn't a perfect run of form, but they followed up with 3 defeats in a row to West Ham, Fulham in the Premier League. Having only lost 2 previous Premier League games before that, it was back-to-back defeats in the league, making it 4 in total, and then going out of the FA Cup. And suddenly Arsenal's season looked very, very different. And that comes off the back of drawing 1-1 at Anfield and playing really, really well there. So this is what I'm trying to say. There's something about Arsenal where they're looking like they've cracked it. They're looking like they're in form, and then something goes wrong, and you want to say as a fan, well, I'm not worried. Okay, we lost to Porto, but look at the 5 before that. But then actually the trend has been, yeah, don't be worried about whether Arsenal will be bad for the rest of the season. They will get it together again. But the question is whether they get it together come Newcastle this Saturday. And that's what really worries me. They can't afford to. They can't afford to not get it back together this Saturday and pick it up again and make it 6 wins in a row. Because of this graphic I'm going to show you from Sky Sports, where you can see the run-ins for teams. Again, hit the pause button if you want to look at it in detail. But I don't see a situation, A, in which Arsenal can lose to Newcastle and City and Liverpool have sort of very clear runs where they're going to drop a load of points. I don't see that in this graphic here. I also don't see a point at which, Arsenal already need a 2-game swing, really. They already need City and Liverpool to drop points that Arsenal can capitalise and go above them both. But if you lose or draw to Newcastle, suddenly it's a 4-game swing, because you need them both to be dropping points. They only play each other the once. I just don't see how you can look at those games and go, yeah, there's any point at which Arsenal will definitely make these points back. And that puts a lot of pressure on the Newcastle game. I'd add even more pressure to it by saying, look at the next games that lead up to Porto. I've got them here. From Newcastle to Sheffield United away, Brentford at home, and then Porto at home. It's 3 home games in 4. It's an opportunity for Arsenal to make it 8 wins in a row and qualify for the quarterfinals of the Champions League. 8 Premier League wins in a row and a quarterfinal place in the Champions League would be a phenomenal position to be in going into the international break in March. Honestly, that'd be unreal. And it's an opportunity Arsenal can't pass up, because I think it sends a real message to Liverpool and City. We're here to stay. We're competing with the best in Europe. We've made it to the last 8, and now we've made it 8 wins in a row. A run that actually at the moment Liverpool and City wouldn't be able to put together themselves come that international break. So it's a massive opportunity that Arsenal cannot miss. And crucially, the last thing I'll say about it is actually, with that being an 8 p.m. kickoff on the 24th of Feb in the Newcastle game, it's then 10 days till they face Sheffield United away on Monday the 4th, and that's a long time to linger on a really bad week and 2 defeats where arguably your season has really slipped away from you. So there's a lot of reasons why they're alone, forgetting the actual game, who we're facing and why. It could be anywhere. It could be 20th place at home in this game. This is a massive, massive moment for Arsenal to show that they're not going to go into the trends of old and actually still grind out another win and make it 6 in a row and make sure that Porto result was genuinely a blip. And I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to win 3-0 Arsenal. I think they're going to respond. Maybe I'm being a little bit delusional, but I really think Arsenal can do that. And quite frankly, I think they have to do that. Newcastle have been a part of games that have had loads of goals in them. I mean, look at some of these results here. Loads of goals. 4 against Newcastle, 8 in the Luton game, 4 in the Villa game, 5 in the Forest game, and you can go back further to see more. There are parts of games with loads of goals. Excuse me, my throat's going a little bit there. There are parts of games with loads of goals, Newcastle, and Arsenal want to capitalise on that. Be on the front foot and really take the game to them and be aggressive and force them into errors, force them to lose confidence in front of their goal as they have been in recent weeks, and just go for it. And I think you can get 3 goals. And Arsenal's defence have been good enough all season to make me convinced that they could get a clean sheet. But I respect that Newcastle have a lot of firepower themselves. And let's be honest, there's a little bit of spice in this game as well. I mean, I've just got some reasons here. The defeat at St James's Park was our first defeat of the season. That annoyed me. The fact that we played well enough not to lose, but we did, especially to a goal that a lot of people feel should have been disallowed. And I feel like I agree with that, even this long after. The fact that Guimaraes should have been sent off in that game, and the fact that they frustrated us in a 0-0 defeat last season when they came to the Emirates, and again we were in the thick of a title race. So a lot of reasons why there's spice to this game, and Arsenal, for all the reasons I've mentioned, should want to really, really take it to Newcastle and try secure the win. Now I'm going to touch on one last thing that's got slightly less to do with this game, but slightly more to do with the anniversary of this date, the 23rd of Feb. Why is it big? Well, because 20 years ago today, it was confirmed that Arsenal would be building the new Emirates Stadium on that's right, 23rd of February. As you can see from this article by The Guardian, in 2004, Arsenal, at long last, announced the go-ahead for ambitious new stadium plans at Ashburton Grove, is the headline there. And 20 years on from the announcement, of course 2006 when we moved in, Arsenal need these moments. They need to be a part of title races, and they need to go find the Champions League. And I think it's just an interesting kind of, timing of the situation in which we're in this kind of crucial week, and in the 20-year anniversary of when Arsenal announced these plans to move into the Emirates, and now the pressure is on Arsenal to deliver. For what it's worth, I thought I'd give you a little bit extra in this video by just giving you my best Arsenal 11 of the Emirates era, only including players that have played 2 seasons or more. So that's why you're not going to have the likes of Saliba, Rice in there, because I thought if I just did it all time, they probably would make it, but then Thierry Henry would make it. And for me, he's always a Highbury player more than Emirates era player. But for what it's worth, here's my team: Ramsdale, Sagna, Koscielny, Gabriel and Clichy as the back 4, Fabregas, Partey and Cazorla, with Saka, Van Persie, Alexis Sanchez. Let me know in the comment section what your best Emirates 11 era would be. I thought about it a lot, and I think we had to do a minimum 2 seasons structure to it. But I just want to give some shout out to my favourite players of the Emirates era: Santi Cazorla, Jack Wilshere, Thomas Rosicky, Hleb, Jesus, Rice, Saliba, Diaby, Ozil. Just a handful of players I've absolutely loved. Could have put Thomas Vermaelen in there. I always had a soft spot for Alex Song and Nacho Monreal. Look, I've liked a lot of players of the Emirates era, but it's time we get winners, and I think this Saturday is a massive opportunity for Arsenal to just get back into gear, make it 6 in a row, and tell everyone we're serious, and that this is the first and genuinely most serious team we've had of the Emirates era after 20 years of announcing our plans to move in. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Will Arsenal beat Newcastle? I think they will. I'm going for a 3-0 win. And I just want to say a really big thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, actually hit the links right here to watch more content like this, including my Football First podcast, which drops every Monday to Friday at 6 AM. And I know it's annoying, I am really sorry to have to ask, but if you want to show support to the channel, hitting the like and subscribe buttons help promote the content much more than you could possibly know. Thanks again.